Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia-Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of archaeoastronomy from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its maker has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information. We say blessed love to each and every one. Of course, we glorify the life giver and the keeper of life, Negus and Nagas, the power and might of the Holy Trinity, Emperor Haile Selassie I. I welcome each and every one into the zone, definitely into the nest, the tiger's nest. This is a moment of celebration that we are definitely exhibiting here. We're thankful for the resurrection moment. We're thankful for the double Sabbath. And now we are celebrating Abraham meet Melchizedek, the visitation of Haile Selassie I, 59 years ago, specifically to the Caribbean, and of course, climaxing in Jamaica on the 21st day of April. Now, for those who may not know and those who just may not even be a part of this concept or within this order of the Bobo Shanti and even Rastafari in general, this is a day, again, that we hold very dear to our hearts. So you will learn a bit about it today. I would have done several programs. Every year we revisit the event. And of course, we would have touched it on several different levels. But I want to also go into 420. As you know, it's the 420 celebration. And ones would say, happy 420, and I give thanks for the concept and everything. But we're going to go into some interesting meditation as it relates to 420, so just keep it locked. As I said, Honorable Priest Isaac here with you with joy. We're going to have a upful meditation and reasonment, and I'm just thankful that you are all here. Reminding you to make sure also that you contact me. Email me, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, to make sure that you get your link, to make sure that you get your pass for the official launch of the Ambassador's Pen. Have you received your link as yet? That's a question. It's just a simple question. My brother and my sister, have you received your link? There's no price to this, no charge whatsoever. All you do is email me and say, Honorable Priest, I would like to get the link for the upcoming launch of the brand new magazine, The Ambassador's Pen. As simple as that, there's no charge whatsoever. We're going to have a wonderful session. Of course, it's now the 7th of May. The 7th of May, that is when we will be officially launching the Ambassador's Pen. We're going to have some beautiful speakers with us. It's going to be a wonderful evening. So make sure you are prepared for that. Come with your meditation and everything. And I'm going to encourage you, those of you who are entrepreneurs, those of you who have your own business, whatever it may be, now is the time for you to advertise with us in the Ambassador's Pen. You must keep in mind that the Ambassador's Pen and even the magazine Kidemi, we are already international. I'm talking about every day. The viewership is just growing by leaps and bounds. Remember, I monitor that, so I'm just telling you what's going on. Tens of thousands of readers between them. Imagine we are launching the Ambassador's Pen and we already have tens of thousands of readers. And it's not officially launched yet. Remember, we have two Ambassador's Pen that came out prior. The Forerunner edition, not the official first one, but it was the first one. The Forerunner edition, and of course, the special edition that highlighted the previous AU summit in Africa in Addis Ababa, the 38th AU summit. In fact, below this video, the links, I should say, or in the description, you find the links to all the different magazines that you may or may not have seen. So you have both editions of Kidemi, and you also have both editions of the Ambassador's Pen. Beautiful. So again, Royal Family, for those who may not know the history, the 21st day of April it is, 1966. I will just go through this quickly. The King of Kings, Negus and Nagas, Haile Selassie I, would have visited the island of Jamaica. Now, prior to that, he would have visited Trinidad. And in fact, you must keep in mind at the same time, the emperor would have visited other Caribbean islands even over such time. But what is interesting here now, also Barbados, the emperor would have visited Barbados. But what is interesting now is that many people are not really aware of the fact that Haile Selassie would have also passed through Antigua. Now, Antigua is an island on the northeastern side of the Caribbean. 108 square miles, the same little rock where I was born. It's the same little rock that I wrote the book, Anu, Ancient and Modern, about. In fact, the documentary Anu, the Ancient City, which also was a finalist in two film festivals. That's a documentary that I would have produced, Anu, the Ancient City, was a finalist in two international film festivals in Italy as well as in South Africa. And that documentary, that short documentary produced by myself and my son specifically, this documentary speaks of the little island, 108 square miles once again, where you have the megaliths that align with the movements of the heavens, the full works for those who know the science. And interestingly, before Haile Selassie went to Jamaica, the Ethiopian airline would have landed in Antigua to be refueled, to top up as such before it continued. Because even from that time, as it is today, the airport at Antigua, at the time it was Coolidge International Airport, has always been a hub. You get what I'm saying? So that is something that I would always bring up. You wouldn't really hear that anywhere else, really, not unless it's from the few that know. In fact, one of the elders around here, Elder Ikesia, who would have passed on, said that he had a picture of the plane while it was taking off. And interestingly, now, about 3 2 weeks to a month ago, an Ethiopian airline landed here in Antigua, but it was a chartered flight. It literally brought a individual from the Arab world to see the prime minister, and that was just about a month or so ago. So, from my understanding, that would be the second Ethiopian airline that would have landed here in Antigua. So, the visit to Jamaica, though, is the highlight thereof, especially since we understand who Haile Selassie the First is to Rastafari. Because in all due respect, when he went to Barbados, it's not as if he went and he buck up on Rastafari. When he went to Trinidad, it is not as if he went and he buck up on Rastafari. Just like even around here at that time, they had matted here individuals that were talking about Africa, but it was nothing close, nothing nearly, even in the sight of what is taking place or was taking place in Jamaica at the time. That's the foundation of it. That is where it began. That was the nucleus of it all. You understand? I'm talking about Rastafari, the movement, to the point that even before the emperor came to Ethiopia, they had a delegation that went to Ethiopia to meet Haile Selassie I. That's in 1961. In 1961, on the same 21st day of April. How interesting that is. You had a delegation sponsored by the government of Jamaica, by the way, of specific races, including Mortimer Plano and certain ones, Alvaranga and Douglas Mack, and these ones would have met Haile Selassie the First. In fact, they would have returned in 1965 to see the king again, and the king would have visited them now in 1966. That's really what it is. And again, that's the 21st day of April. How interesting, you must look at the mystics, because even just a few months prior to this, the Queen of England, in fact, not even a few months, the month before, in March, the Queen of England would have um, um, come to Jamaica as well. The reception that she received was not really like the reception that the King of Kings received. He received a reception unlike any reception anyone has received anywhere, coming from anywhere, landing on a plane on the airport. You must keep in mind, even before the plane stopped, even before it came to a halt. I mean, the whole runway, the tarmac, everything was packed with people. Nobody got hurt. Chalice was blazing underneath the plane. You understand? The police and the soldiers could not hold back the crowd from coming, breaking down all barriers, barricades, whatever you have in front of us, from seeing their emperor, from seeing their God. You understand? So the whole mass of people, not just Rasta now. Interestingly, the races were right up front. The races were in the center. The races were in the trees. The races were on the buildings. And chalice was smoking all over. Marijuana became free that day. Nobody could touch nobody. You understand? You need to comprehend the state of Rastafari, even in Jamaica, specifically at that time. So the fact that all the races could have come out and light up their chalices, and not even one person get prosecuted, arrested, nothing. That was a serious thing. You understand? because it was 3 years almost to the day. Listen to me. It was 3 years almost to the day before that they had what was known as the Coral Gardens Massacre. They call it an incident. An incident is, you know what I mean, when you run into somebody's rear end by the traffic light. That's an incident. The Coral Gardens Massacre was a massacre. You understand? Bring them in. Bring all Rastaman in, dead or alive. That don't sound like an incident to me. You understand? That sounds like a deliberate act of killing people, genocide of a group, really. You understand? So cannabis and Rastaman and locks and Ital and Jabberpot, all these things were outlawed. Red, gold, and green and Huyu and all beard, all of these things were outlawed. Don't let us catch you. Hey, walk good, eh? How many of you are there? Come, you go home. All of these things were outlawed. What you doing around here? All of these things were outlawed. Hmm? Dread, what in your pocket? Empty out your pocket, let me see. All of these things were outlawed. Even if you had a seed, even if you had a brand new chalice and nothing ever smoking it, you're done with. But the thing is now again, when the king came, when the emperor came, it was just blazing. In fact, when the plane pull up, the Ras is already under the plane, blazing. You never see the video? We run it a couple times. I wouldn't pull it now. Under the plane, blazing, and this is why. When we as Rasses jumping up about 420, you know I ain't got no problem with 420. Of course not. Why would I have a problem with 420? I love 420. I love 419. Oh, don't talk about 417 and 311 and 213 and 712 and 99. I love all the days when it comes to burning the chalice and burning the cannabis. But you see, you know, again, all due respect. But I'm just so, once bitten, twice shy. You know that, you know what that means. Here. You've seen this playbook already. There was once I was listening to a culture from some Bobo Shanti elders, and it was with Muta Baruka. This was a long time ago in the 1990s. And they were saying that, in fact, I think it was Muta Baruka that was saying that what they do now, they set up their Christmas. You're listening to me or what? They set up their Christmas in such a way that it precedes the true Christ Mass. So after you done beat out yourself and spend up your money and everything into ho and Santa fraud, when the real Christ Mass come around, they all telling you is back to school. So many different things. So they design it in such a way because they know the spiritual nature of the true Christ March. So they mix it up and put the Christmas in front of it to kind of distract you, you know. Now again, I love 420. Huh? Today's 420, we celebrating ganja. Oh, I'm with you. I'm coming. Here we go. I'm on board. What's next? Yeah, because I celebrating. But you see, the day after, 421. Hey, listen to me. 421. I'm going to be humble here. I don't even know who invented 420, you know. You understand? But 421, that was the day when cannabis became not only legal, free. Legal is something in the law, and bills were passed, and you read the bill twice, and we're going to send it to the Senate, and that's legal. Free mean you can't touch me. My God is here. For days you had to leave the Rastas alone. I always wonder if the Rastas that were in prison were released because it was just freedom for Rastas. Rastafari under the plane, you know, man. Under the plane. Airplane fuel is not like regular fuel. I used to work on planes. Airplane fuel is not like regular fuel. And even the fella that would guide the plane in, he had to go and hide. The pilot just had to, hey, well, we just park somewhere. You know, I think you should stop before we run over someone. No one got hurt. Not even an ouch. Not even call for the ambulance. Nothing. And chalices blazing. 421. 421. Say it with me, family. 421. That's the day we light up chalice for the first time in such a fashion, positive that we could not be touched under a moving plane. Yeah, the plane of Haile Selassie the first. And this ain't no spookism, you know. This isn't not anything we making up. It was raining. I think for hours, real rain too, no jokey rain. Soak you down rain. And they say before the plane up here, the sun just come out. Rainbow. Everything dry like chips. That's a term we use around here. I don't know if it works where you're from. Dry like chips. Hmm? And seven doves, I think, came out of the east. I wasn't there, but I would have read about it. What you say? Huh? I wasn't there, but the elders that saw it would have told me the story. I wasn't there, but I believe it. And this isn't spookism. This is just reality. Seven doves, and they say when the seven doves disappeared into the horizon, here came the plane. Land on the airport, tarmac. Police had to go and take a break. You watch the video when the entourage was following the emperor on the bicycles, they licking down the army people that was standing on the side of the road. We didn't come for none of them foolishness. We come to see the king. The emperor called for Massimo Plano. Listen to them big shots here now. Listen to this big shot here. Haile Selassie called for a Rasta man to assist him to get out of the plane. Haile Selassie didn't call for, where is the governor general? Is he out there? What about the prime minister, Bustamante? Yeah. And the other one that was acting. Hmm? The police commissioner, the head of the army, the brigadier, no. The minister of, no. Called for Massimo Plano. Massimo Plano said he just had an operation on his voice box or something. Massimo Plano said he just had an operation and he could hardly speak. He said when he heard it, calling Massimo Plano, he was on a house roof somewhere. He said he just stepped off the house roof and he don't even know how he did it, but he just stepped off the house roof. Massimo Plano. And he walked to the crowd and came to the King of Kings. And the King of Kings told him, well, yeah, I want to go through. And Martin Plano say he opened his mouth. And you see that deep voice that he has? That's the voice that came out. He says so. He says so. He said it on a program he did with Muta Baruka. He said it himself. The whole story I just gave was his story. You understand? So I didn't read that one. I heard him say that. And he said that's the voice he had since then. Now imagine that. The king don't even touch Jamaican soil yet, and all of these miracles are already fulfilling. Hmm? Man getting new voice who couldn't speak. Don't play around with me, Rasta. Don't ramp with me. Eh? Nothing here make up, eh? This is not no esoteric. You see, you talk about Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and Christ make the dumb speak and the deaf hear. Oh, it's symbolic. Well, that's good. This ain't symbolic. The man said he couldn't speak. It may be symbolic too, nothing wrong with it still being symbolic, but you better know this is how the story go. Yeah. As they say in Antigua, this is how barley grow. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, what other great miracles took place now? So, but anyway, what I'm saying, royal family, this is just a simple natural stuff. I know we like to talk about supernatural. Sometimes I wonder if supernatural really exists. I mean, a lot of things we consider supernatural is just natural. That's really what it is. But for some reason, we consider it to be supernatural. All right. Now, 421. And as I said, keep in mind, I was mentioning that the month before Queen Elizabeth came along. And this is Queen Elizabeth's birthday that the emperor returned. Hmm? And remember when Queen Elizabeth, came, she said, there's a man in this land that no one is to molest. For in time to come, he shall be Lord over my lords. You understand? So just consider that. And he came on her birthday. And that's to fulfill what she said. No, listen, family, let me show you how you connect the dots. Because to some, some people feel you're playing with figures, you're playing with numbers, or rah, 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 X, Y, Z. Although I know this was the subject I'm getting into, what I'm going to say now, I actually had no, intention of going, let's say, this deep. You know why? Some of what we're going to get into, we would have covered it already, documentary, seven, other things. And sometimes you believe, listen, let's just hit some new points and carry it to another level. But let me remind the people what's happening here when I said connecting the dots. Again, when the Brotherhood visited the Emperor in 1961 from Jamaica, the Rasses, of course, as you know, Ras Bonagees and Prince Emmanuel and a few other stalwarts were not there, as their mission was something more aligned with repatriation and not just a visit. And the delegation, of course, they went through several African countries. I think it was Ghana, Nigeria. If I'm not mistaken, it was Sierra Leone and a few other. I think they visited seven in all, but I stand corrected. So, but for sure, when they came to Ethiopia, they met the high priest Abuna Basilis, and they were, according to the books I would have read, they were given Ethiopian garments, which consist of churchical holy robes and maybe what some people would want to call a gown. I like to make sure one's comprehend that I never told anyone that Abona Basilis and the church gave the brethren them bubble clothes. You understand? The books clearly say they got Ethiopian churchical garments, which consisted of robes and turbans. So from I see that, to me that's good enough. To me that's symbolic. That's a sign to show, well, number one, you are already of the priesthood. Mhm. To me, that's big enough Rastafari enough for the priest to give you that kind of garments, like preparing you, like these are your clothes. Wow, you understand? And then again now. when they visited the emperor, which is the 21st day of April, the emperor told them that the the uh, the people of Jamaica are always welcome in Ethiopia. But next time, tell Jamaica to send the right people. Everyone knows about that. One's always wonder, what does that mean? What is the right people? Or who are the right people that the emperor told the brethrens about? I mean, they just got churchical garments. I mean, they sound like the right people. But anyway, that's the 21st day of April. Now, what's interesting is that the emperor visited the same brethren and others exactly 5 years to the day of their initial visit to him. So you can see now within the mystics, nothing happens by mistake. And keep in mind that they visited the emperor in 1965 as well. But in the same 1965, the emperor got a specific title, the Defender of the Faith, at the beginning of the cycle of Aquarius in the zodiac cycle. The Defender of the Faith. Just before he came to Jamaica freshly receiving the title, the Defender of the Faith. All of these things, to me, very, very important. To me, he came to defend the faith, fulfill such prophecy as well. 421, light up your chalice, let we burn down Rome. Yes. So when he visited now, that's Haile Selassie, the 21st day of April, as I said, the Queen of England's birthday, and she came the month before. Mhm. She actually visited at a very interesting time, the 3rd of March. She spent about 3 days. When she was leaving, it was the anniversary. It was the ninth anniversary of Ghana gaining its independence. When Queen Elizabeth II was leaving Jamaica, it was the ninth anniversary. It was Ghana Independence Day, the ninth year since her flag fell. You understand? And Ghana rose which flag? Tell me. The red, gold, and green with the black 5-point star. Mhm. She received that same flag, plus the red, black, and green flag. During her visit in Jamaica, she received those flags. That is when she said that there's a man in the land that no one is to molest. After receiving them flags, this is history you're getting here, family. So I'm just showing you how interesting all of these dots are connecting because the banners that rose in Ghana 9 years before the day she was leaving Jamaica is the same red, gold, and green with the black 5-point star. So when the emperor come now to Jamaica, exactly to the day, 5 years after the brethrens check him in Ethiopia. He also came on the birthday of the woman that was there a month ago that said, there's a man in the land no one is to molest after seeing the flag of Ghana that just was celebrating its ninth independence. Ninth, the number nine too. The number nine is very important. It stands for fulfillment. There's no other digit higher than nine. Yeah, man. So in the midst of all of this, there's a lot of mystics, a lot of science. Now you may be listening and say, "Oh, I don't believe." No, hold on. Listen, BC, take your time. I didn't give you no opinion at all a while ago. If you really sit down and write everything I say, you would not find one opinion. Where is the opinion? I said he came to Jamaica on Queen Elizabeth's birthday. That's not an opinion. That's the truth. I said he came 5 years exactly after the day that the brothers visited him, the same 21st of April. You see, it's so wow, wow, wow that it sounds to you like I'm cracking some code. But I am. You're cracking it too. It's just so obvious. I don't have to say, well, this is what it means. It's just so obvious. It's just too much. Then she's leaving Jamaica when Ghana got its ninth independence celebration. The same Ghana that lifted the red, gold, and green that she got a few nights prior before she said what she had to say. So you don't have to wait for my commentary on the little facts I just gave you because it's just so clear. Seven doves came out to the east and disappeared in the west, and then the plane appeared. After all the rain, the sun came out and everybody was dry like chips. Yeah. 421. The celebration has begun. Yeah. So, of course, you know that the Honorable um, Negus Nagas Haile Selassie the First, for sure, amongst many other things, and the whole visit to Jamaica would have paid high tribute to Rastafari. I mean, from the time he called in Martimo Planner to come and free the crowd. And that's a very important point, too. Do you know the Rastas that checked the king, eh? Martimo Planner was the dreadlocks amongst them. The others were kind of afro and brushback. Martimo Plano was the brother with the locks. In fact, he often boasts that he's the first dreadlocks in Ethiopia. That is Rastafari. Of course, Ethiopia have enough locks people. Different tribes is locks they wear. But he's speaking of Rastaman. We know what he's talking about. The first Rastaman then. He's the first hardcore, what we know as Rastaman to have stepped in Ethiopia. So when the emperor called him, yeah, and his operation and he couldn't speak, you know, no makeup story. So anyway, then no, the emperor. Remember, this is the same year that the Organization of African Unity was formed, eh? Yes, this is very mystic. They formed the Organization of African Unity. When is African Liberation Day, family? Someone tell me. Sometimes we have to ask these questions too. Sometimes we speak as if we're speaking to ourselves, but no, man, the people that are here and in class and and some of you may be saying, "Oh, come on, or else keep going." Everybody know when is African Liberation Day. You sure? When is African Liberation Day? People can put it all in the chat. When is African Liberation Day? Because remember, African Liberation Day now, this is the day when the Organization of African Unity was formed. And this is the day when you had the 32 African free countries. Now, it's really 33 according to history. Some reports say that one of the countries were absent for the opening. I can't remember which country it was, but it was 33 countries, 32, 33. And those are nice numbers to play with, 32, 33. If you check the eagle on the American flag, one wing has 32 feathers, the other wing has 33 feathers. 32, 33. The two highest ranking orders of degree in Scottish Rite, Freemasonry, 32 and 33 degrees. So anyway, the Organization of African Unity was formed in, yes, the 25th day of May is African Liberation Day. So that's just April, May. Uh, 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 Mystic it is 1963. Now, 1963, this is uh, the same time as Coral Gardens Massacre. Coral Gardens, not 1966, pardon me. The Organization of African Unity formed in 1963, the 25th day of May. Follow this good, the 25th day of May, 1963. Organization of African Unity. Yes. The same year is the Coral Gardens Mayhem. And this is why I'm showing you now from the 12th of April, Coral Gardens. The king come to Jamaica 1966 April. That is 3 years almost to the day. 3 years almost to the day, which is, remember the Coral Gardens massacre happened on Good Friday. It's almost like they're crucifying the Christ. And in 3 years, he rose up. Everyone knows when Haile Selassie come to Jamaica, that was like the beginning of it all. Really for Rastafari. That's when Rasta really start, you know. When the King of Kings came and we could go under the plane and grab onto the wheel or whatever we did and light our chalice. And nobody could stop us. And he called for Marty Plano, who couldn't speak and who was left with the deepest of voices. Put that in the Bible. Them is Bible scriptures there. What say you? Hmm. So the King of Kings now, Haile Selassie the First, would have also, in interesting fashion, coming 3 years after such a massacre amongst the races, he would have lifted the races high in King's house. This is government's house. That's the King's house is the house of the queen, the same Queen of England, you know, although it's King's house. And Haile Selassie gave the 31 heads of Rastafari. Now you got to keep in mind, I just said there were 33 heads of a free African state. Mhm. And if it was really 32 present, that's 31 plus Ethiopia. 31 heads of Rasta plus Haile Selassie, that's the same 32 again. You see? And the king gave everyone medals. Now that is very mystic, you know, because when you get a gold medal, that is symbolic. That signifies that you would have already won the race. And of course, we know that the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards would have been the first to receive his gold medal from Emperor Haile Selassie the First. Now, this is very important again, royal family, with the understanding, you know, that the if you watch the video of the visitation in 1966. After the documentary, the narrator says that he gave all the heads of Rasses medals, etc., etc. And you see all the brethren showing their medals. Then he goes on to say, now it was our turn to give gifts. Meaning that the Jamaican government now was giving gifts to the emperor. This is very important. Now, it's not that the emperor didn't give any gifts to Jamaica. He built a university. Well, they say it was a school. Some say it was supposed to be a university. But he built a school there. And other projects the emperor would have put down in Jamaica. But outwardly, the emperor went in his goodie bag and gave gifts to those who were the rejected, and gave gifts to those who were the despised, to those who were the downtrodden, those who were ostracized, and not just gifts, you know. Not just, you know, a nice picture of himself and whatever, whatever. In fact, a picture of himself was on those medals. He gave them medals. I mean, like his officers to say, well, yeah, this is your rank, this is your rank, and this is your rank. And it's not by mistake that the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards received his medal first. And you must understand, family, this is not no game the emperor playing with the Rasta man, you know. The emperor took a clear liking and paid keen attention, obviously, to Rastafari on that visit. So when you hear us say that he left documents with the Jamaican government speaking of the diplomacy of these people, it's not nothing that is being made up. You understand? So they were diplomatic rights that the emperor would have already addressed with the Jamaican government at the time as it relates to the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. So this isn't religion, you know. I mean, you can religiousize it if you want, it will still work. But this is reality. This is geopolitics. This is another thing. Haile Selassie didn't just walk into the room and run into Emmanuel. I said, wow, he looked mystic. He looked like the man back home. No, it wasn't so. Yeah, it wasn't so. The king know exactly who he's gonna meet. He know who is not like Rasses. Okay, Rasses, y'all line up. No, 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 no. No, Ras, what's wrong with you? Everyone was in rank and file according to how the emperor would agree with it. So it's not by mistake that Prince Emmanuel came first. Prince Emmanuel didn't visit Haile Selassie on any of the two trips, 61 or 65. How he can go first? Who make he can, no, no, no. Yeah, yeah. Rank and file Rastafari. So this is very clear. So the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards would have been writing letters to heads of states, heads of governments, including Haile Selassie. Haile Selassie don't forget nobody. Haile Selassie remember everything. King Emmanuel write Haile Selassie already, the UN and all of these things. So he is a diplomat within his own sphere. Everyone knows that. Bongo Flacco, when he was with us, tell us that Prince Emmanuel is the first politician. I prefer the term diplomat, really, but I understand what he's saying. The first diplomat, I prefer diplomat than politician. A different sound to it, really, for me. Yeah. Yeah, but he's the first diplomat amongst I and I. So his diplomacy was was clear. Okay, family, let me get here. As I'm speaking to you now, the sun is going into the constellation of the Ram, Aries, 421. Where my chalice? I should be blazing my chalice for 421, the Rasta man. Yeah. So the sun going into the Ram. Which Ram? Which sun? What are you talking about? The Ram constellation. It's known as Aries. Oh. And the sun traveling into Aries, coming out of Pisces. As you know, we are coming out of the spring cycle beginning, which is the 21st day of March, and now again going into the 21st day of April time frame. So obviously it's coming out of Pisces and just going into Aries as we speak. Now, now, now. Okay, sounds good. And what's Aries again? Aries is the constellation in the zodiac belt that is known as the Ram. Oh, all right. All right. Okay. So how did this come in? We were talking about the king's visit to Jamaica. I know. Don't worry. We're there. We haven't gone anywhere. Different topic, same subject. So the zodiac belt constellation of the Ram, as I said, comes after the fish and just before Taurus, the bull. And the Taurus, the bull, is the example of the cow that jumped over the moon, which is a full prophecy. The cat and the fiddle and the little dog Sirius that laughed because everything was so funny. All of these constellations are in the same vicinity. The dish that ran away with the spoon is the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper. The dipper is the dish and the spoon, and the little dog is Sirius, and the cat is the lynx. All of these are constellations, and the crow that jumped over the moon is Taurus when the moon is at its lowest node and it's underneath the bull. So I was listening to a radio program just the other day. I digress here, but it's all right. I was listening to a radio program just the other day, and the whole program was about hey diddle diddle, and they were just laughing at it and saying these stupid things they used to teach us, and any cow can jump over the moon, and they went on and on and on and on for the whole program, which to some degree it's true, but again, it's reverse psychology. The hey diddle diddle stuff is deep, yo. It's very deep. Anyway, so this is what I want to do. And I promise that I'm not going to take too long to express all of this to you. Now, we're going to go, let us visit the book of Exodus. And let me remind you once again, family, make sure you register for the upcoming official launch of the Ambassador's Pen. It's an online event. It is going to be a beautiful webinar. You don't have to pay a dime. It is fully free. And of course, you know it is the 7th of May. And remember, the Ambassador's Pen, those of you who are business people, which everyone listening should be, those of you who are entrepreneurs, for sure, now is the time for you to advertise with us in the upcoming edition of the Ambassador's Pen. Remember, you are getting top exposure. When you advertise with Kidemi, you're getting top exposure. The finest of marketing is taking place here. Trust me, I'm talking about the Ambassador's Pen. Now remember, although this is the official launch, you know we also have the Forerunner edition, so you can check out the Forerunner edition, and we also have the special edition that highlighted the previous African Union summit. Remember, the Ambassador's Pen literally deals with what we just mentioned there: diplomacy, geopolitics, culture and history. That's really what it is. Geopolitics, culture, and history. So once a month for now, that is when you'll be seeing the Ambassador's Pen. So we will be pushing your business for a whole month. Yeah? Make sure you do that. So that's the Ambassador's Pen. All right. And let me just give a word to the family. Make sure that you put on your notification bell. Everyone is saying, man, when you come live or when it's premiering, I don't get no thing. What you need to do is reset the notification bell. Listen, the YouTube stuff, the internet stuff is designed in a very sneaky way to keep the truth quiet. They quietly take down videos. You just see videos disappear. You can't find these videos again because no, they don't want nobody watching that. They don't want nobody listening to him. Huh? So you got to make sure your notification bell is on. So you may have pressed it for maybe 2 years ago. Undo it and do it again. Repress your notification bell. And of course, you'd have to subscribe first for those who are not subscribers. You subscribe first. Subscribe and then press the notification bell. And I think now is a good time to tell you to like up the video and the thumbs up stuff. Now is a good time. And you should have shared it too. This is another thing. We got to work together, family. Those of you who, oh, I love the work and I love this and everything. Well, I'm happy you love it. But you got to show the love. You can sharing it is one of the most easiest things you can do. In fact, the most easiest thing you can do is pressing that thumb. Some people don't even do that. Just press the thumb, the man. Just press the thumb. It's not hard to press the thumb. Come on, man. Don't tell me you're so bad-minded. Press the thumb. Yeah, yeah, man. Come on. So more people will be with you when you come in the house here. Very good. But share it. Share it, man. Let's not be lazy, family. This is the Battle of Ottawa. We're on the battlefield now. Share the video. You know what I mean? Come share, just press the button share. You see a button there? Share, press share. And then it gives you the options where to share it. WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter. Just share it, keep sharing it, be on the team. We're supposed to be a team. You're supposed to be a part of my tribe. You understand? So if you're not contributing even financially, some of you know, boy, I would like to help contribute to the mission, but okay, fair enough. Good. Well, at least share it and really share it too, not just with a friend. Share it and let people know what is taking place here. Beautiful. So, what is taking place here? We're talking about the whole mystic of the 21st day of April's visit. Now, family, remember the link is in the description below, and you could definitely check out the magazine Kidemi for sure. You could definitely check out the ambassador's pen. Remember, as I said, we have the ambassador's pen, the Forerunner edition, and we also have the ambassador's pen, the edition specifically directly dealing with the summit. I'm going to read through this rather quickly. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 12. And it says here, and the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too small, too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish. A male of the first year ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper door post, of the houses wherein ye shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the prootenance thereof. You don't know. You don't want to know what that is. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. And thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt will I execute judgment. I am the Lord, and the blood shall be to you for the token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you, when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be upon you or unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your house. For whosoever eateth unleavened bread from the first day until the 17th day. Interesting, 17th, eh? Emmanuel cycle there. 17th day. That soul shall be cut off from Israel. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation, and in the 17th day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done to you. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your enemies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 1 and 20th day of the month at evening. All right, and I will not go any more with that. It's a lengthy chapter, but I think now First of all, maybe even what I read there a moment ago, you may not even know what it is I was trying to highlight, but as I revisit it, it will be very clear. So basically, without trying to remember everything, let's visit what you know already. The children of Israel are in captivity in the land of where? Egypt. Now everybody know, at least my audience know, that Bobo Shanti referred to Jamaica as Egypt, Jamaica. Ones have risen up and start to say Egypt, Bahamas, and Egypt, Trinidad, and But Egypt is a term that really symbolizes bondage and captivity. You can get linguistic with me and tell me it comes from hiccups and what it means. And I get you. I know all of that, Don't get me wrong. But I know the term. It doesn't have to necessarily be the Webster's definition. The term has its own energy. It means bondage and captivity. That's what it stands for. That's how it's utilized, especially in theological language. Fair enough. Good. That's why in Revelation it says, and the place that is called spiritually Sodom and Egypt, where our Lord was crucified. So there's a place spiritually called Egypt. Where was the Lord crucified? In Egypt, Africa? Okay, well, most people said no. Exactly. So where's the Egypt that the Lord was crucified? Is Jerusalem, Golgotha, Egypt spiritually? Maybe spiritually. So the spiritual Egypt is spiritual. Yeah. So the Lord came through Egypt. Yeah. And he came through in the dead of the night, according to the story. If he didn't come through in the dead of the night, he made it night. The place got dark, and I guess maybe it's the movie I'm thinking about. But anyway, he came through, and you know, everyone was supposed to get a lamb, a perfect lamb, without blemish. Now, this lamb symbolizes Christ, the Lamb of God. That's really the symbol of it. But in the Moses story, Moses was told to tell the children, get a lamb, a little sheep or a goat, anyone, but you want to make sure it's without blemish. And you're going to kill it. That means you're going to sacrifice it. So this is symbolic of the sacrifice that the lamb had to bear for our sins. That's all it is. And then you take the lamb and you're going to beat the doorpost. And the blood on the doorpost is going to show that you have followed the orders. Now you're going to roast it, eat it with the shoes on and all of that stuff. Good. Now, when the Lord passes over the land of Egypt, which Egypt? Well, let's say Egypt, Jamaica. When the Lord pass over the land of Egypt, he will be looking to see those who have the blood of the lamb on their doorposts. That's what the scripture says. And yeah, that is the energy. When you have the lamb on the doorpost, the blood, you will be saved. But those who do not have the blood of the lamb on the doorpost, woe be unto them. No, the Lord don't want to come and do no one no harm. So that's why he told Moses to tell you what to do before he come. So that when he come, everything's gonna be all right. Yeah. What's interesting about that story too is that he speaks about this being the first month. Now, I'm sure you know that there are many ones, especially within the Hebrew Israelite establishment in certain ones of them, that carry the first month as April. the time of spring and everything, the 1st of April is seen to be the first day of the year for many people. That's why they call it April's Fools. Again, they take everything that is upright and try to make some level of mockery with it. So now you yourself stay away from the 1st of April, eh? Like that the American president, when he said he was gonna bring all the tariffs down on the rest of the world, he said he wanted to do it April 1st. But he said he's going to wait until April 2nd. So no one can, accuse him of fooling around and think that he's making a joke. So the April 1st thing has become something to even stay away from. Don't take it too serious. You have something to proclaim, don't do it on the 1st of April. Do it some other time. When the 1st of April obviously is a power time. But they have left us to mock it. Oh, April's Fools, this and that, and all of that foolishness. So, according to the Bible, according to the book of Exodus, this is the first, this shall be your first month, the first day of the month. And then it goes on to the 7th, the 14th, the 17th. And when did it seal up? The 21st. Now, I'm not arguing over where the month of Abib really begins. We would have done those programs and we would have broken those things down very theologically. I'm just keeping it on the simple level with the months that we use, the 1st of April. Enough ones push the 1st of April, just like ones are positive that the 1st of March is when the Egyptian New Year begins. All right. So according to Genesis chapter 13 that we just read, from the 1st of April to the 21st of April is when this is to be carried out. Remember, there's a specific ceremony in West Africa called the Homowa. And during the Homowa, it says that they take a red clay, not blood now, and they put it on the doorpost, similar to what the Israelites would have done with the goat or the sheep, so that when the spirits pass through, they see the red clay and bless the house. All right, let's bring this thing home now. So if April is the first month, and this scripture is telling us that from the 1st to the 21st day of the month. So this is the 1st to the 21st day of April. And within this time frame, the Lord shall visit Egypt. The Lord shall pass over Egypt in a dark cloud. I'm telling you, that's interesting. In a dark cloud. He bowed the heavens and came down. You better believe it. So according to Exodus, within that time frame, the 1st to the 21st day of the first month, April, the 1st to the 21st of April, the Lord shall pass over Egypt. And in him passing over Egypt, he is looking with his eyes to see those who have the blood of the Lamb stain on their doorpost. And when he sees that you are okay with the blood of the Lamb, he will pass, bless you. But those who don't have the blood of the Lamb, it's judgment. Now, you may be saying, wait, Ras. So what you trying to tell me, Ras? Don't tell me that Emmanuel is the Lamb. And when the king come Jamaica on the 21st day April, that's the Lord that passed over Egypt. on the 21st day of the first month looking for the blood of the lamb. That's what you're trying to tell me? Hold on. Before I tell you what I'm trying to tell you there, let's return back to the lamb in the heavens. Because you see, when I get to the point that you're making there, it's supposed to be undeniable. In fact, when we get there, you're not going to even have any questions. So, again, as I said, as we speak now, the sun has just crossed over the point that takes it into the zone of the constellation of Aries. This is no make believe. You understand? I literally went and visited my Sky app to make sure I was correct. So again, we all understand even the way that the Bible is written. You're dealing with a lot of solar activity. You know that. You're dealing with a strong esoteric book. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how it was written. We feel like we're ashamed of that now. Boy, I don't read no Bible, brother. Them things are real. Them is symbolism. Okay, so what's wrong with that? So why you vexed with it for being symbolism? So the horse with the hog head, that ain't symbolism? So again, the sun, just as the sun represents the Son of God, in the same way that the sun literally rise and set, and the sun shall come with the clouds of the heavens, and all eyes shall behold him. And again, even when you observe the setting sun and you look at the sea, you can see the sun walking on the water in the reflection. It's just deep. So the ancient scientists understood how to take the movement of the sun and even put it in story form. Not that they're playing with nature, but that same story will manifest into flesh because nature is a reflection of itself. Of nature, we're all nature. I wonder if you follow. So when the sun is in the constellation of the Ram as we speak. Remember, it says that the Lord, during this time now, the 21st of April, the Lord will pass over Egypt in a dark cloud, and he's seeking for those who would have been obedient, those who would have gotten the lamb or the goat, the Aries, and would have sacrificed it, Homawa, and would have placed the blood on the lintels. And this is why I'm showing you that when Haile Selassie the first came to Jamaica in 1966, when he met the Racids on the 22nd day of April, the sun would have just properly, fully crossed over into the zone of the Ram, which is a cosmic fulfillment of what is written in the book, the Bible. And remember, this happens on the 21st of April, not the 17th of April, not the 15th of April, not the 16th of April. From the 20th of April, that is when the sun is on the borderline between Pisces and Aries. I am telling you, on the 21st day of April, the sun fully is inside Aries' zone. So when we wrote Exodus and we showed you that the Lord is coming through on this day, the 21st, and he's looking for the ram, is because we understood ancient astronomy. And look, it fulfilled now in flesh, where Haile Selassie the first, the Lord, came to Egypt, Jamaica, huh? With the thick dark clouds as well. And he came looking for the lamb, because when the plane landed, the sun went into the ram at the very same time. So we can't deny this now. We just clearly showed you that all the dates are well aligned. Number one, the kingdom, you don't just come off of your throne on the highest peak in the world and be throwing out gold medals to these riffraffs and these beggars and people that don't wear shoes. You don't just do that. That don't make sense. You're the king of kings. You can't get out of your plane and you call for a man that don't comb his hair. That don't make sense. He can't even speak. What can you do with him? Yeah. Huh? What can you do with him? You left him with one of the deepest voices that we have amongst us. Shake the world when he speak. I tell you, before the plane landed, the sun came out. Even the meteorologists couldn't understand this. It left your clothes crisp as if you just ironed them. Doves came from the east, disappeared in the west, and here came the plane. I assume the plane went around, circled the island, and then came in for a landing. So again, Rastafari, this is just the reality. That is why, as I said, the plane landed in Antigua. There are pictures of that before it went to fulfill all of this prophecy here. And I have not even gone into the fulfillment of when Daniel said that he sat down and observed all the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. And in the night vision, one like unto the Son of Man came, and was given power and glory and a kingdom ever living, which is the same Lamb that was slain, that was in the midst of the throne, that came to him that sat upon the throne and got the exact same items that the Son of Man got in the book of Daniel. But I won't go into all of that right now. These things have been covered already and can be found in our archives for those who would take the time to take a look. But for now, we are very thankful for the celebration moment. We give thanks for life, the life giver and the keeper of life. This is a moment that we refer to as Abraham meet Melchizedek. Again, another depths of reasoning, but I wouldn't attempt that at the moment. Let us just digest what we would have received thus far, knowing that the sun, as we speak, is in the ram, is in the Aries, full fulfillment from the celestial realms, as I showed you, family, from the celestial realms to the blackboard, which is really the hieroglyphs, the walls, the pyramids, and the Bible, and all of these mystic writings, from the celestial realms to the blackboard to reality. That's the fulfillment of the prophecy when it comes as history. You understand? Yeah. Give thanks continually. Life giver and the keeper of life. Hey, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. And remember, it takes some realize to realize the real lies that are amongst us. Yes, Royal Family, the links are in the description below. Check out the magazines and, of course, contact me so you can get your link to be with me for the launch of the ambassador's pen for his far eye. Holy Emmanuel Selassie I, Jah Rastafari. Give thanks. Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress.
I also hold a certification in the craft of archaeoastronomy from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its makeup has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information.